Reborn into the S11 era, joined IG. Ah. Why are all the conversations from the opposite side in my ears? Jiang Zhou. Theshy, the opponent's jungle is not here, quickly cross the tower and kill alone. So I went on the road and received a drop of blood. Jiang Zhou. Rookie, AD has entered the wilderness area and the assistant is not available. Go to blue buff and squat him. So Zhongdun instantly killed the enemy AD. Jiang Zhou. Prince Ning, the opponent is not in the wilderness. Go steal the dragon. Your teammate has captured the ancient dragon. Jiang Zhou. 5 people across from me are squatting in the grass. Come on. IG instantly annihilated the opponent's 5 members audience. IG's strength has regressed to S8. I'm back, everyone's back. Jiang Zhou, stream of consciousness AD, excellent angler in the canyon, the most difficult JNK player in history novel keyword. LOL. I can hear enemy teams chatting. No pop-ups, LOL. I can hear enemy teams chatting. Download the complete set of TXT, LOL. I can hear enemy teams chatting. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Rebirth of YM. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Rebirth of YM. In early spring of 2021. Jiang Zhou looked at the surroundings and some faces from deep memories in confusion. Is it the YM base? Didn't I go to the hospital for screwing all night? Why did you suddenly come here? No. It seems like I've been reborn. This is me, 19 years old. After a moment of confusion, Jiang Zhou understood the current situation and was truly reborn. And he was reborn 6 months after joining YM that year. Jiang Zhou was very excited. Once upon a time, how much he wanted to change his life again. This time, his dream came true, and he would never miss any chance to change his life again. Excitedly, next to his seat, a chubby little man pestled him with his elbow and said, Jiang Zhou, shush, the boss is coming. Jiang Zhou saw this cute little chubby guy and smiled, sunny day. This is his roommate during the YM era, a sunny general. At first, the two of them came to YM base together and were arranged in the same dormitory. Xiaopeng Qin Tian had an introverted personality and did not have much contact with others, so their relationship was very good. However, later on, the Sunshine General shone brightly on LDL and became the champion of LDL. He was then bought by TS for millions of dollars, doubling his value. Compared to himself, a fat-headed and big-eared person arrived at the training hall of the base, interrupting Jiang Zhou's memories. YM team owner, principal of the Huanpu Military Academy for Esports, PDD. This person doesn't need to be introduced, whether they have played LOL or not, they all know the achievements of this boss. At this moment, PDD's expression was very serious, and everyone present knew that the boss was very dissatisfied with last year's team results. There have been many well-known players from this base, such as FMVP, Ning Wang, Tian, left-handed, WEI, and other frontline players in the 2S tournaments, all of whom were transported from YM to LPL. But this team didn't even make it to the LDL playoffs last year, which is the worst record in YM's team history. Despite YM's glorious history of failing to enter the secondary league several times, at least its results are among the top in the league, and its face is decent. And this year's edition is probably the worst one that PDD has ever led, without outstanding players and results not yet in the mainstream. We already have enough personnel in our team. We can rest assured when we return from the Spring Festival holiday. We will give you half a month. If your rank does not meet the team's requirements after half a month, you can voluntarily withdraw. The esports industry is not suitable for vegetable chicken. We YM need to streamline our team members. For those who are capable, I can ensure that you join the LPL team. For those who are not capable, don't waste your youth here. YM is not a shelter for internet-addicted teenagers. In the hall, there were more than 10 young faces sitting, all of whom were YM team members. The first and second teams, as well as the youth training team members, were as quiet as cicadas. All of you here are some talented players from the Chinese server. But the reality is that there has never been a shortage of geniuses in China. To become a professional athlete, talent is just one of the factors. Seeing these childish faces and longing eyes, Jiang Zhou sighed in his heart. He was also the same back then. After graduating from the college entrance examination in his previous life, he ran away from home with confidence and came to YM team to do youth training. However, he was discouraged from meeting the team's requirements and was eventually dismissed when Jiang Zhou first came here. He was confident that he could become a top professional athlete with his AD strength, which he claimed to be the king in the suburbs of the Chinese server at the age of 18. His achievements were comparable to those of top AD players such as Uzi and Jack La Dance, bringing him a golden reign on the world stage. But Jiang Zhou, who was incredibly confident, collided in front of reality with his head broken and blood flowing, feeling extremely embarrassed. After arriving at YM, he realized that his so-called talent was completely insignificant here. At first, that passionate expression, but later on he found it incredibly ridiculous. The so-called gaming talent is nothing more than relying on one's youthful and super-fast reflexes. Players like myself are as numerous here as crabs on the ground, with big brothers everywhere. If it weren't for my good luck back then, just turning 18, I probably wouldn't have been selected for YM's youth training team. The dream of esports is far away from me. Faced with such a situation, he played in the first team for a while and also played several LDL games. However, in the AD position, he stood out with a reactive error and was eventually demoted to the second team. From then on, in his previous life, he began to give up on himself and was eventually persuaded to leave by YM. For YM, it is already the end of benevolence and righteousness. Eating, drinking, and living for free, as well as receiving basic salary and unlimited gaming on high-end computers, where can we find these good days? The good days are coming to an end soon. Later on, Jiang Zhou went out to work for 2 years on his own, and every time he thought of this, he would feel regretful. If he had to do it again, he would definitely work hard and improve his grades. This was the only way out in his life. It is also the closest to professional esports. He comes from a humble background and comes from a poor family. If he doesn't rely on his pitiful talent to play games, he can only go to the bottom of society to work and live his life in a plain and miserable way, just like in a previous life. But obviously, the heavens still favor him. He was given another chance to make a choice. This time, I must seize this opportunity and change my life trajectory. In his previous life, Jiang Zhou missed many opportunities. Now let's start anew. Jiang Zhou must strive to pursue the life he wants. Let's start by staying at YM. I was born at the age of 21, S13, and have a clearer understanding of the future. At this time, the S11 spring race had not yet started, but he knew that according to the original process, EDG would overwhelm DK 3.2, reshape the glory of LPL, and help LPL win their third S.race championship. And S12 is another year of LPL to darkness. However, these have little to do with Jiang Zhou for the time being. He has now obtained another paintbrush, but whether he can leave a strong mark in LPL depends on his own ability. Having prepared, Jiang Zhou's face was somewhat uplifted. Alright, I've finished what needs to be said. To establish a foothold in the esports industry, you still need to rely on yourself. Finally, I would like to remind you that the LPL spring season has not yet started, and many teams are still looking for substitutes, even starting players. Whether you can seize the opportunity depends on your performance. These 2 sentences from PDD were spoken to a team of people. The first team is the strongest in the base, and there are several players who have the hope of being transported to the LPL. The esports industry never lacks talented teenagers. You can't always have someone waiting to replace your position. After saying PDD, he left as he was very busy. As soon as PDD left, the base became lively. The LDL has not started yet, and the Dalmatia Cup is not yet ready. The team has no training matches scheduled. For the audience, this time is very boring and there are no games to watch. But for professional players, it is the most brutal elimination period. Because at this time, if one is not selected for the first team, it is equivalent to not playing for a year. A year is very short, but how many years can esports players have? Not everyone is a faker or a factory manager. Just as he was thinking, a sunny general appeared again in front of Jiang Zhou. Jiang Zhou, if it's okay, we'll double row. Sunny smiled, highlighting a good temper. He was selected by PDD as a first-line player and worked very hard. He ranked for no less than 10 hours every day, belonging to the category of talented and hardworking players. He had already secured a starting position in the first team, and the team could not eliminate Sunny. But Jiang Zhou is uncertain after being relegated to the second tier. He felt a bit self-destructive in the eyes of outsiders. I came voluntarily on a sunny day to take care of my roommate and not be abandoned by YM. Jiang Zhou nodded and said, okay. With a sunny general like this what kind of bicycle do you need? End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Heard the conversation across from you. Play against Doinb, UZI. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Heard the conversation across from you. Play against Doinb, UZI. Sunny, what is your dream? Sitting in the training room, Jiang Zhou put his headphones aside and casually asked. If it weren't for Rebirth, Jiang Zhou wouldn't have thought that this seemingly introverted chubby little guy would be able to become the starting lineup of the Galactic Warship, TES in the future. Of course, later on, due to the poor performance of TES, Sunny was replaced by Rhubarb in the playoffs. But the sunny day was still young, and Jiang Zhou felt that the general still had great potential. The sunny day next to him. I don't know why, Sunny feels that today's Jiang Zhou is a bit strange. After being brushed off by a team before, my roommate became very decadent and began to put on a show. But now it seems that he has become much more energetic and has developed an interest in training. Originally, he invited Jiang Zhou to double row, thinking that Jiang Zhou would refuse. Dreams. I don't have many dreams, I just enjoy playing games and my family supports me. Of course, it would be even better if I could join the LPL team, said Sunny, scratching his head. Jiang Zhou nodded. It's a good mentality on a sunny day, not arrogant or impatient. No wonder it will shine brightly in this year's LDL. This kind of mentality is the one who can exert their true strength without pressure. Jiang Zhou said, yes, maybe you will be favored by the LPL team this year. Sunny smiled and said, it's not that simple. We're in the game, let's get started. Jiang Zhou nodded and said, okay. Two people entered the game interface. Gameplay. Summit of the Canyon. Jiang Zhou's current rank is not high, and he has been giving up on himself for a while, only Diamond 1. And the same goes for sunny days, but at the top of the canyon, this is not the upper limit of sunny days. This chubby little guy looks harmless to humans and animals, but he is secretly a rolling king. He is a proud master in the Korean server, ranking 299. This is still because I slack off during the Chinese New Year. If it weren't for accommodating Jiang Zhou, I would go solo to the Korean server on a sunny day. YM is very optimistic about such a hardworking and talented player. Whether it's the manager or the coach, they all treat sunny days as treasures. Just as the two of them entered the queue, a voice rang in Jiang Zhou's mind. Brothers, why don't you double row with UZI today? Jiang Zhou instinctively switched and wanted to close the web page. He often watches live videos while playing games. But I found out that I didn't even wear headphones. Did you speak? Jiang Zhou turned his head to look at the sunny day when he was selecting candidates. Sunny. My sister says everything. Jiang Zhou glanced around, and the other team members were all wearing headphones in the queue. The discipline of these members of YM Club is beyond doubt. The training room is very quiet, and there are voices of people in both rows communicating. Qing Tian was puzzled in his heart. He could tell from just now that something was wrong with Jiang Zhou, and he muttered, Jiang Zhou, do you want to take a break? Anyway, we still have time, and I can definitely take you with me as a master. Jiang Zhou thought to himself that the Sunny brothers were really interesting. He said, it's okay, maybe I didn't rest well last night. But I clearly heard the sound. Jiang Zhou shook his head and heard it again. Uzi, you can play VN and I'll cooperate with you afterwards. He saw the first floor across from him and locked Yasuo in seconds. As for ranking, there is no particular emphasis. Ordinary players enjoy playing whatever they like, while Jiang Zhou and Sunny are mostly focused on practicing heroes. But Jiang Zhou's face changed. Coincidentally. Just as I heard this inexplicable sound, the other side locked also in seconds. And, how does this sound a bit familiar? The taste of being neither Chinese nor Korean and Uzi. The sound in my mind is still going on. Okay, I'll do VN. Jiang Zhou was shocked. He had hallucinations now, but he still had a conversation. He looked at the game interface. The sunny day next to him thought for a moment and chose the blind monk. Jiang Zhou still has some impressions. During this period, the blind monk on a sunny day played very smoothly on the road, and later brought him to the LDL stage, with the same intensity as his crocodile, sword demon, and Silas. Sunny. What are you playing with when I practice being a blind monk on the road? Jiang Zhou thought for a moment and locked the female gun, Miss Misfortune. Nodding on a sunny day matched his impression of Jiang Zhou. In the several games he played in the first team, Jiang Zhou's AD style highlighted his reactive and reactive abilities, shrinking behind his teammates to amplify his moves and output. If the team is at a disadvantage, they will definitely not look for opportunities with themselves. Flash forward. That is absolutely impossible. But on a sunny day, I don't know. Jiang Zhou, who has been reborn once, has a different mindset. Sunny muttered, I don't know what AD on the other side will choose, please be careful. Jiang Zhou. VN. As soon as the words fell, the choice for the fifth floor across from me came out. Let's hunt down those who are trapped in the darkness. Shadow Hunter, Wayne. Sunny opened his eyes wide and looked at Jiang Zhou incredulously. Jiang Zhou, is this the actor you hired? This doesn't comply with the club's regulations, you will be fired. What did you say, what did the other party choose? This is not an actor, what is it? The intensity of the Chinese military's crackdown on actors is increasing and not decreasing. At such a critical moment, Jiang Zhou openly invited actors, which seems like killing himself on a sunny day. If this matter is exposed, Jiang Zhou will have no chance with esports for the rest of his life. But Jiang Zhou was even more shocked than sunny days. Are you serious? The selection of the fifth floor across from Jiang Zhou. He can now confirm that the voice in his mind is real, and it could really be Uzi on the other side. After thinking for a moment, he immediately opened the webpage and entered Uzi's live broadcast room. Sunny glanced at it and exclaimed in surprise, Uzi. If that's the case, Jiang Zhou would never hire Uzi as an actor. Uzi just retired last year, but isn't it too low to become an actor? I breathed a sigh of relief on a sunny day. But Jiang Zhou was extremely shocked in his heart. It can be confirmed that he really heard the sound, and it was Uzi chatting with his double-row teammate Doinb's team. Is this the legendary Golden Finger? Jiang Zhou suddenly understood. Rebirth and Golden Fingers are standard. Reasonable. But it seems like there are only 2 people chatting, probably the other 3 people are all in a single row. Having understood this point, Jiang Zhou felt a little excited inside. Originally, he felt that his low talent, even with hard work and self-discipline, should only be limited to LPL. After all, LPL really doesn't lack good AD. But now he thinks his upper limit can be raised. Sunny looked at Jiang Zhou with a mixture of shock and laughter. Jiang Zhou, Uzi is facing you. Uzi, why are you so happy? Jiang Zhou chuckled and said, it's okay, I think of something fun. Let's start scoring. Sunny smiled bitterly and said, charge for points. Are you joking? The other side is a combination of Doinb and Uzi. Why did these 2 people double row and meet us? It's so unlucky. Jiang Zhou didn't say much either. He had already begun to envision how to use his ability to hear opposing team chats to create victory for himself. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Shining Awakens. The female gun is bold. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Shining Shine. The female gun is bold. It's evening now. Professional athletes usually have a lot of live training at night, and it's normal for Jiang Zhou and Qin Tian to encounter such a combination. Jiang Zhou guessed that it was probably Uzi and Doinb who thought their combination was very effective and could liven things up, so they lined up together today. Uzi has officially retired, but it is also necessary to maintain its popularity, otherwise it will eventually cool down. Double row with Doinb is naturally the best choice. And Doinb, needless to say, is definitely the most knowledgeable live streamer among professional players. Currently, FPX's performance is not very good, and they have not even made it to the quarterfinals of the summer tournament. Doinb's life is not easy either. It is necessary to attract Uzi to maintain their popularity in the esports circle. In fact, today their double row also reached the peak of popularity in both live broadcast rooms. The effect is good. Only the audience has some pitiful opponents. The combined popularity of the 2 live streaming rooms is tens of millions. The barrage is even more densely packed. Hahaha, the other side is really unlucky. Encountering champions, singles, and world number 1 AD, I'm afraid I'll be abused. Monkey and dog combination, invincible. This is my favorite episode to watch. The monkey's daycare is still possible, and with Uzi's VN, this combination is invincible. I can already foresee the uncomfortable expression on the other side. Jujuezi, what is the down road on the opposite side? Female gun. Doesn't a wind wall of Doinb also perfectly block a female gun's ultimate move? That's it, the female gun on the other side is going to be educated. There is no doubt about the strength of Doinb and Uzi, as the audience can already predict the outcome of this game. Not to mention the audience, even the sunny day at YM base feels like it's over. He is still very confident in his abilities, but the opponent is the champion and Uzi. Although there is almost no difference in operation, there is still a significant gap in gaming awareness, seizing opportunities, and the ability to protect oneself. Not to mention the order placed on the opposite side. After seeing that Doinb had chosen Aso, he chose a mixed-score giant and a brainless stoneman to come out. This is the lineup of both sides. Jiang Zhou's side is blue. On the road. Blind Monk vs Stone Man fighting wild. Pig Sister vs Pants and Middle Road. Yong'en vs Yasuo, brother and brother are cut off, downstream. Jiang Zhou's female spear plus big tree vs Uzi's VN plus bullhead. Sunny originally thought he could show off his skills, but facing a mixed-score giant, it was very difficult to eat it alone. But if he takes the rhythm on his own, how can you drive the rhythm with such strength on the other side? And at this moment, their wilderness also sent a message. Pig Girl. Opposite Doinb plus Uzi, 15. Obviously, their teammates also recognized who the two people on the opposite side were, so their words were concise and ready to surrender. However. But Jiang Zhou typed a string of words with a clatter. Steady, there's a chance. He can now grasp his golden finger. As long as he focuses, he can clearly hear the conversation between Doinb and Uzi. He can completely determine the position and thoughts of the 5 people on the opposite side from their conversation. He can mediate and find opportunities from it. Sunny was surprised. It didn't seem like something Jiang Zhou could say. If we had encountered such a situation before, Jiang Zhou would probably have simply swung out. Even he himself finds it difficult to have confidence, not to mention the god of Jiang Zhou facing the canyon directly. I'm a bit puzzled on a sunny day, but today's Jiang boat looks so different. Just thinking about it, I also rushed online on a sunny day. Although the chances of winning are not high, as a professional player, one cannot give up. Jiang Zhou looked at the team chat. Pig girl. The champion on the opposite side won the singles, and there's also Uzi. Use the head to win. Jiang Zhou didn't speak after seeing it. If it were his former self, he should have the same thoughts as a wilderness player, but now he knows that he has no reason to give up. At this moment, I heard the voice of Doinb in my mind. I'll go with the assistant, the squatting blind monk has gone. Be careful yourself. As the commander of the FPX team, Doinb's personal style tends to be team-oriented, and he is definitely top-notch in controlling the situation on the field. This guy is often referred to as a mixed scorer, but it must be admitted that he made a lot of contributions to the team during S9, driving the pace many times. You can say that he is not satisfied with single kills and online aspects, but you cannot say that he is not a team player. At this moment, he knew that he only needed to squat on the road for a while. If he killed the blind monk, whether it was the stone man or himself who took a drop of blood, it would be easy to fight online. Even if you kill the blind monk and make a flash, the stone man can still get along well. If the stone man can survive, then the effect he exerts in team battles is definitely much greater than that of the blind monk. Although it may seem like a small routine, it often has a significant impact on the overall direction of the game. On the sunny side, he wanted to squat in a wave of stone man and use his first hand to suppress the stone man's health, making it difficult for the mixed point giant to deal with. Don't go. There's a possibility of you squatting on the other side. Jiang Zhou reminded. He originally intended to say something certain, but after thinking about it, he felt that he couldn't say it too absolutely, as if he had opened up a full picture view. Having a golden finger is better to be low-key. If I am extremely certain every time, I am afraid I will be treated as a monster. The sunny day asked, squat me. It's impossible, isn't it? After speaking, he instinctively placed a cue towards the top grass. Tainyenbo. Afterwards, Sunny was shocked to see that this Q skill had been kicked onto Yasuo's body. In the provided view, there are also ox heads and stone figures. 3 people are neat and tidy. Sunny day. He was convinced. Can you tell that? How did you know? Sunny looked at Jiang Zhou. Jiang Zhou casually said, I'm confused. Afterwards, he handed over his flash. He saw VN appearing in the downstream river channel. Because I already knew that the supporting bullhead on the other side was on the road, then VN must be alone. And there's a big tree next to me. There is also a pig girl who can provide support at any time when fighting wild, and she is guaranteed to be able to play VN dual moves on her own. After all, an unarmed VN is just an experienced baby. The sunny day surprised everyone. When did Jiang Zhou become so decisive? Flash open God. How dare you? And in the game. Jiang Zhou's decisiveness also caught Uzi off guard. He came alone, pretending to be a tiger and leaving with just a glance. Whoever's AD would flash when they meet. Unfortunately, Nyoto is not by his side yet. Yuzai also reacted quickly, flashing straight towards the river. However, Jiang Zhou's female gun, an gun forest and bullet rain, successfully slowed down to the VN after flashing. A decelerated VN. The auxiliary tree finally arrived, and W flashed over and hugged VN. Twisted spikes. Done. Yuzai is speechless. Is his hatred so great? Or is the reaction from the opposite side too fast? It seems that my teammate was discovered to be facing me with a female gun at the same time. I have to say that the female gun on the other side was too decisive. Yuzai blames his bad luck. Trapped by a big tree, my VN has no hope of escaping, and I don't even need to pay for purification. Jiang Zhou's female gun easily received a drop of blood. The wild boar girl didn't even touch the assist. The audience in both live broadcast rooms were dumbfounded, and a flash of excitement flashed through them. This female gun is a bit bold. Looking for recommended tickets. Thank you all. End of this chapter. 4. Chapter 4. Play an exciting game and catch the opposite skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Play an exciting game and catch the opposite skill. Bold. How dare you open your mind? This female gun is a bit decisive. Just found out where the cow's head was on the road and flashed open. Is this reaction a bit too fast? Uzi is a bit careless. What were your early waves in VN? And the assistant also went to squat on the road. You're not alone under the tower. What are you doing in the river? You see, just now the single blind monk on the opposite side was on the road and flashed off the road. It can only be said that the reaction on the opposite side was too fast, and in an instant, it was confirmed that Uzi was alone on the road. Bold. Surprisingly, a divine VN flashed. Take the god's blood. This player is so bold. The live broadcast rooms of both sides were interspersed with many happy people, cross-dressing, highsy, and bisy, which was called a lively scene. But I have to admit, there's something about this female gun. Most players, at level 1, have never been so decisive in flashing and retaining players. Not to mention, this is still an AD. Be decisive and calm, worthy of a thumbs up. Of course, compared to the surprise of outsiders. Sunny was even more surprised. He knew Jiang Zhou's AD style better than others and had always been steady. He would never take risks easily, and there was never a situation like this where he handed over his flash at the beginning and took some. Because of this, Jiang Zhou usually does not stick to the pot in matches. That's also why I'm willing to double row with Jiang Zhou on sunny days. AD that won't die suddenly is still very important to him. As long as he is willing to sacrifice himself to inflict damage, after death, he will wait for Jiang Zhou, this AD, to harvest his remaining health. But now, he noticed that Jiang Zhou's style seemed to have changed. Surprisingly, I dare to flash and drive someone, and it's still Uzi. The change in style, coupled with Jiang Zhou's clear prediction that he would squat on the other side, gave Jiang Zhou a good look on a sunny day. Jiang Zhou returned to the city and bought a short sword, a potion, and the opening Dolan sword, potion, so that he could determine his advantage in the next round. He knows that the other side is Uzi after all, so it's better to be stable and buy some medicine to prevent it from being consumed. Although he has an advantage of 1 blood, even heroes can benefit a bit, but after all, that's Uzi, and now he's just a half-hearted professional player. What am I doing, watching games? I'm not interested in men. Jiang Zhou looked at Qing Tian. On a sunny day, he chuckled and said, Jiang Zhou, I've noticed that you're different from before. Jiang Zhou said meaningfully, that's right, the tide is rising on the Qiantang River, and today I found out that I am myself. Scratching his head on a sunny day, he clearly couldn't understand. Did you watch the 3 kingdoms behind my back? Jiang Zhou. This TM is water margin. Jiang Zhou is indeed quite different from before today. I don't know if this change is good or bad even on a sunny day. But change is always a good thing. If Jiang Zhou doesn't make any changes, the upper limit of professional esports can only be YM's second team. The two of them pulled their attention back to the game. My teammates were initially a bit passive, but when I saw that Jiang Zhou's female gun had received a drop in blood, I also took the initiative to start doing things. Although there are fairy combinations like Doinb and Uzi on the other side, it doesn't seem that difficult either. My teammates can receive Uzi's health, it seems like I also have a chance. The people who can make it to the top of the canyon are all outstanding in their respective regions, with some level of proficiency, so they are not discouraged. However, soon these people felt the pressure. Including Jiang Zhou. Although he received his first health and was able to keep pressing down on the enemy line with his support from the big tree, all he could do was stop there. It's impossible to go and kill the opponent again to gain an advantage. Even Uzi can use its Q.roll to consume the big tree of the tree-throwing sun. This is why even the big trees dare not move forward. Uzi successfully stabilized the situation and even replenished about the same number of troops as Jiang Zhou. Jiang Zhou's basic skills naturally cannot compare to Uzi. The advantage of one blood has been somewhat lost. Jiang Zhou couldn't help but sigh, is this a god? Sure enough, the road ahead is a bit seamless. If it continues like this, after 15 minutes, I won't be able to suppress the opponent. But there is no other choice. What makes Jiang Zhou even more frustrated is the middle road. Doimb's single kill data in LPL may not be as eye-catching, but in rank, he still plays with ease, with also beating his brother Yong'en with one hand. Both of them are engaged in melee, but Doimb's operations are more fluid, able to frequently consume Yong'en and then quickly retreat, leaving Yong'en with no choice. Although they are high-end players at the top of the canyon, compared to Aso, the operation of Yong'en players is like relying on defense. I feel immense pressure in the middle. And the situation on the road is similar to that on the down road. Sunny wants to suppress the stone man, but obviously there is an experienced mixed scorer on the opposite side, calmly replenishing troops under the tower. Although nothing can be seen on the scene, everyone knows that time is not on Jiang Zhou's side. Subsequently, both sides gradually arrived at the node of level 6. Two disappeared on the road. Jiang Zhou heard the communication from the other side again. Uzi. I'll have the stone man come down and fight a wave, ensuring they can get a health tower and a little dragon. You can play a wave in the middle. Attract the opposing middle single and fight wild. Doinb. Alright. Semida. Jiang Zhou's spirit lifted and he came. The other side is looking for opportunities, but at the same time, it is also their own opportunity. Now he has reached level 6, and although his equipment is not leading, the damage of his ultimate move is still decent. As long as he safely releases his ultimate move during team battles, he will win half of the battle. At the same time, Doinb and the opposing fielder Pansen began acting in the middle. Because relying on Doinb's advantage in the middle lane, the Canyon Vanguard is on the opposite side, so it seems that the Vanguard needs to be placed on the opposite side. If a blood tower is eaten by Yasuo, then they will feel uncomfortable. Yong'en desperately signaled in the middle that he was under a lot of pressure. My own pig sister also rode a pig to guard the tower. Yasuo's movements are very radical, it seems that he wants to cross the tower and kill Yong'en. I'll go to the middle to provide support, said the clear sky rising from the highlands. His blind monk is equipped with flash lighting, and support can only rely on his own legs. Jiang Zhou said, don't go to the middle road, come down the road. The stone man is down the road. Sunny day. What? Everyone knows that middle road Aso and stone are the best combination, how could they go down the road? Jiang Zhou said with certainty, come on. After thinking about it for a while, it was the first time I took a turn and headed down the road. Accompanying him is the question mark of Zhongdan Yong'en. Yong'en. The opposite side is about to hit, why go to Nima and get off the road? On a sunny day, I ignored and headed straight to my own destination. The voice in Jiang Zhou's mind rang out again. Uzi. The stone man teleported down into the grass. Brothers, this wave depends on my operation. Jiang Zhou was instantly startled. He originally wanted to walk forward, but he didn't expect to teleport directly to the grass on the other side, and the eyes of the big tree disappeared for a while. The grass is a bit dangerous. Jiang Zhou took a deep breath and looked at the location of the sunny day. He had already arrived nearby and immediately entered the opposite view. To win this wave of troops, one must deceive the stone man's ultimate move. Jiang Zhou decided to have an exciting game. Intentionally sell a wave and catch the opponent's skills. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. What kind of divine reaction? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. What kind of divine reaction? Uzi feels that he has a safe chance of winning, and can even double kill to regain some of the face he lost with a drop of blood. Teammate Stone Man is very cooperative with himself. As long as Stone Man's ultimate move can hit the female bullet, he is confident that he can achieve a double kill. This is confidence from the world's top AD. Although he retired, he feels like he can still fight. Still showing off. Sure enough, the female gun on the opposite side had no idea that the stone man had already been teleported to the grass on the way down. She walked boldly and had already taken the stone man's ultimate move. Uzi pressed its R ultimate moment. Uzi is too familiar with this skill. At the same time, the stone man crawled out of the grass. Stone man players are also confident that no one can react at this distance. His idol is Brother Ba, and he is so familiar with squatting people in the grass. However, what stone man players, Uzi, and the supporting bullhead didn't expect. In the stone man's ultimate move, it's too empty. The stone man, who had grown up in the air, froze in place and scratched his head, feeling like his brain was missing. What? 3 people collective ? Because the female gun reacted like this. Flashing away. Uzi feels even more incredible. Such a distance, even if one is unconscious, it is impossible to dodge and dodge. But the female gun did it. Did he already know that the stone man was here? Impossible. This is a reverse line, the view on the opposite side is not good, and there are also real eyes inserted with assistance in the grass. It is impossible for the opposite side to know the treacherous position of the stone man. But in terms of time, he didn't have time to think so much. The stone man's ultimate move is the horn of attack. The bullhead man has also taken action, and his ultimate move has been pressed. He has fired his bow without turning back his arrow, and the charge is done. There is still a chance to take the head of the female gun. Anyway, he didn't flash. At the same time, the Tauran also handed over his flash, and it was only after that WQ second company managed to control the female gun. Uzi just cheered in his heart, and after Q went up, he found that there was an extra person on the female gun's body. The blind monk W landed on the female spear. Uzi. What? Blind monk. Has Shangdan blind monk also arrived? Jiang Zhou watched as he was being controlled, but he was not in a hurry. He dodged the most deadly stone man's move, and even if he was flashed by the bull's head, he could still accept it. After all, a VN can't even do a flash sale for themselves. In addition, the blind monk has already arrived, and the big tree has also reacted. And this great move to avoid him also caused him to break out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, he had already known that the stone man was here, otherwise he would have exploded at a glance. As he approached the grass, he had already placed his hand on the F key. Fortunately, I am now my 19-year-old self. I can't even react to being 1 year old. After landing, Jiang Zhou did not move because there was no need at this time. The only skill that could interrupt his ultimate move was VN's E, which had already been given to the blind monk. Perhaps Uzi is afraid of flashing R himself. So now, all he needs to do is press the big move. Nyoto, the stone man didn't dodge, and VN was also held by the big tree. Perfect timing. Hahaha, the exaggerated laughter of the female gun rang out. The decrease in VN's health, combined with the damage of the big tree and the ignition of the blind monk, was instantly killed. The female gun once again took down VN's head. The remaining stone man and bull head will be much easier. The two of them also knew they couldn't leave and wanted to forcefully exchange Jiang Zhou's female gun, but the damage was really insufficient. So, Sunny took the stone man and Jiang Zhou took the bull head to complete the double kill. I have gained a huge advantage on the way down. The scene is constantly changing. I was originally the first mover on the opposite side, but I didn't expect to be countered by a flash from Jiang Zhou. The early signs of VN's rise have been contained in the cradle. If you want to develop again, it will take longer. This scene made it difficult for the audience in the UZI live broadcast room to understand. What's the reaction? Is this a script? Does the script have a flash and dodge skill? I don't think I've seen it before. New scripts, how old is this reaction and hand speed? Isn't it? Can this also be reflected? Is this person a professional player who came to fry fish? And this big move is also too calm and perfect. It stunned me. I said that this person's ability to take a blood is definitely not luck. You see how he handles it, and it would be outrageous if the blind monk on the other side also comes. If the blind monk doesn't come, at least Uzi can still walk. It's a bit strange on the other side. The audience in the UZI live broadcast room can see it. This female gun is also a master. This flash dodge and big move output is crucial, and the support from the blind monk on the opposite side is also very good. UZI. This JZZ has something. JZZ. It's Jiang Zhou's ID. He couldn't figure it out. What was the reaction of this female gun? Did the stone man dodge while flying? The only explanation is that he already knew someone was squatting on him, and if that's really the case, it seems even more outrageous than a pure reaction. Because he delayed the live broadcast for a full 30 seconds. It only takes about 10 seconds from the stone man to the ultimate move, so it's impossible for anyone to see it. Uzi asked curiously, Doinb, have you delayed opening your live stream? Doinb said, let's go, 60 seconds. What's going on when you're off the road? Is the female gun so fierce? He couldn't figure it out why Uzi and all of them were killed when the stone men went down. Uzi smiled bitterly and said, that's right, there's a bit of movement on the other side. It should be a professional player who responds quickly, and the support from that blind monk is very fast. It should be a double row with the following path. Uzi's analysis is still accurate. Doinb also nodded and said, yes, the blind monk doesn't come to the middle road. I didn't expect to go down the road either. There should be a double row on the opposite side. It's okay, I'm well developed, wait for me. Seeing being defeated on the way down, Hansen decisively released the vanguard and hit the center. Relying on the advantage gained by Doinb in the early stages, they also won a health tower first. Doinb has mastered the advantage and can still accept it. Give me the initiative, Jin Gugu, and I can end the game. But he didn't know that as long as they had communication, their movements would appear in Jiang Zhou's mind and he couldn't escape his control. A small lead. Jiang Zhou's female gun can now take off in terms of equipment. In the game. Middle Road Yong'en. Blind monk, I admit I called out a bit loudly just now. I didn't come to the middle road, so I went to the lower road to gain an advantage. Sunny looked around and didn't say anything. Instead, he looked at Jiang Zhou in great surprise as he was selecting equipment. He saw the reaction clearly. Without any information, Jiang Zhou relied entirely on his own reaction to avoid the stone man's ultimate move, which was completely outrageous. Sunny day. Jiang Zhou, can watching the water margin increase reaction? I want to learn this move. Jiang Zhou said, this is a talent, it cannot be taught. Of course, this is a cheat and cannot be taught. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Ahahaha, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Ahahaha, I originally wanted to bring a river boat, but I didn't expect the situation to turn around. Jiang Zhou takes care of himself. The game started for more than 10 minutes, and Jiang Zhou was the best developed player in the entire field, having already won 3 kills and 1 assist. You should know that the opposite side is a combination of Doinb and Uzi. Jiang Zhou's performance today was beyond expectations for a sunny day. If Jiang Zhou continues to maintain this state, then Sunny thinks it can be a suggestion for the coach to let Jiang Zhou continue to serve as the AD for the first team, or even as a substitute. It's better than being on the second team. These two teams may sound good, but in fact, they are just hanging on to you, waiting for the first team to perform poorly before you have a chance. But after thinking about it, Sunny feels that it still depends on Jiang Zhou's performance afterwards. Everyone has glorious moments, don't take a moment for granted. Let's observe first. Sunny silently thought that if Jiang Zhou really wakes up, he will definitely report to the coach. The game continues. Although Jiang Zhou has gained an advantage here, in fact, he has only taken some initiative and economic lead in the future. It is still difficult to establish a winning situation. Because there is another person across from you, Doinb. Jin Gugus Yasuo has gained a considerable advantage in the middle, with nearly 30 more reinforcements than Yong'en, which is the stable replenishment ability of professional players. Combined with the advantage of a health tower, Aso's economy is probably not much less than that of a female spear. However, in team battles, Aso's upper limit is undoubtedly much higher than that of a female gun. Because this is Doinb. The current FPX record may be a bit lackluster, but after all, it's Aso, the champion in the singles. So, although Jiang Zhou looks very beautiful in the scene, the winner is still on Doinb's side. Jiang Zhou was also aware and began to listen carefully to the communication between Doinb and Uzi. The more frequent the face-to-face communication, the more information he receives. Coincidentally, the opponent is a professional athlete who enjoys communication the most. Jiang Zhou feels that if his golden finger were to enter the professional arena, wouldn't it be invincible? Sure enough, Doinb began to command the situation on the field. Now only his middle ground can withstand it. In the middle of the game, Uzi's VN must buy their own equipment, otherwise they will have to wait until the later stages. But two people are not willing to play in the post-game. You have a champion in the singles, a world-class AD, and rely on playing in the diamond game at the top of the canyon. Isn't it a bit of a loss of identity? The voice in Jiang Zhou's mind. Doinb. Uzi, come to the middle road. With the second vanguard, you can start a quick push and operate it. Uzi. Alright, the female gun should also go back to the city to buy equipment. I'll go directly and hit it, there's a chance. Doinb. Stone man, go ahead, I'll follow, you come harvest. Returning to the city. Jiang Zhou was startled and broke out in a cold sweat. Is this God's sense of smell? That's right. He now often has a tight budget and can now update his second major item. But he didn't expect that Uzi had already calculated that he wanted to return to the city. And he also returned to the city early to update his equipment and go to the middle road. VN's economy has been suppressed by themselves for a while, but they also have a shield bow. If VN goes to the middle first, then there will be some danger on their side. With the cooperation of the second vanguard and the advantage of the number of people, the opposite side can really grasp the rhythm of this wave. Is this the operation of top professional players? Jiang Zhou murmured, feeling the pressure even though he was ahead. Sure enough, this is LPL. World's top division. So now, how do you do it yourself? Jiang Zhou suddenly thought that if the other side thought he had returned to the city, then he would definitely not think he would appear in the middle. Jiang Zhou cut off his return journey and rushed from his own wilderness to the middle road. Jiang Zhou, the opponent is about to hit. Please update your equipment quickly to support. King Tianxia consciously thought that Jiang Zhou was the AD player who dared not take the initiative, and invited him to come and support. Turning around, Jiang Zhou had already walked over to the red buff and said, "I'm here." On a sunny day, the Jiang Zhou's consciousness made him feel a bit uncomfortable and too comfortable. Originally, it was quite rare for him to cooperate with Zhongdan as a blind forest to guard the tower. When Jiang Zhou arrived, he would definitely be wary of the female spear's ultimate move, so it was not a big problem for Zhongdan to guard the second tower. However, strangely enough, Jiang Zhou walked into the grass between red buff and middle road and suddenly stopped moving. Sunny. Jiang Zhou is very calm. If he appears directly, the other side will definitely be afraid of not pushing forward. In that case, both sides cannot erupt, and the initiative still lies with the other side. The time when he appeared must have been after the team battle started, and it was after Yasuo handed over the wind wall. This way, one can maximize the output of their ultimate moves. Since the other side feels like they have returned to the city, they should be so open. Sure enough. On the opposite side, following the Doinb marker, except for assisting Bullhead to stroll down the road, Pansen, Stone Man, and VN all come to the middle. After releasing the two pioneers, 4 people appeared directly. On this side of Jiang Zhou, below the 2 towers, there are only the blind monk on a sunny day and Yong'en on the middle road. Pansen flew towards the second tower in an instant. The Great Wilderness Star Meteor. The Stone Man also decisively flashed and collided with it. Sunny's reaction quickly flashed back, evading the Stone Man's ultimate move, which was to let Yong'en be knocked away by the Stone Man. Doinb didn't immediately amplify, his ultimate move was just 1 person bigger, there was no need, and the wild area pig girl also appeared here, throwing a ultimate move directly across the wall. He instantly realized and blocked the big move with a wind wall. Doinb is very satisfied. The female gun is not here, this wind wall is simply perfect. 4 people directly want to forcefully kill the blind monk under the tower, Yong'en. However, in the neighboring wilderness, a person's view appeared. Female gun. Miss Misfortune. Her appearance is bad luck for Doinb's side. Because their skills are almost there. And everyone is under the second tower. At this position and angle, no one can empty the bronze. Uzi was extremely surprised, why is he here? I can't figure out how to solve this problem. According to his plan, the money in this female gunman can now be used to update equipment. Did she just disappear from the lower lane and come straight to the middle lane? At that time, Pansen and Stone Man didn't even show up in the middle lane. Why didn't the female gun go back to the city to buy equipment and come to the middle lane? I already realized that Doinb would attack the center. Is this at least the consciousness of professional athletes? Uzi was surprised in his heart, and at this moment it was impossible for him to run. If you run on your own, all 3 teammates will be sold. It's better to kill a few by force. 4 people can't leave. After Jiang Zhou released an E-skill, he immediately launched his ultimate move. Bullet screen time. Ahahaha. Polite. Where's your second brother? Doinb was startled by the big move of the partition, and his attention was entirely focused on the blind monk and Yong'en, completely unaware that a barrage time would appear from the side. His question was the same as Uzi. Why is the female gun here? Brother, can we play or not? Is this a female gun or an assassin? With a big move, Pansen, Stone Man, and Aso's health plummeted wildly. Cooperate with the output of the defense tower and achieve 3 kills. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. This is a very strange AD. You are listening at novel full.audio. Chapter 7. This is a very strange AD. The appearance of Jiang Zhou exceeded everyone's expectations, including Jiang Zhou's teammates. After winning the 3 kills, the remaining one was a VN. After being stuck by Pig Sister, Jiang Zhou followed with a female gun and successfully killed the blind monk in cooperation with Sunny. Jiang Zhou's female spear once again made great contributions in this wave. This elusive female gun left a deep impression on everyone. Doinb was full of confidence in wanting to operate this wave, but who would have thought it would be such a scene? Doinb. Brothers, have you met your peers? Uzi frowned and said, it seems that it's not right either. After careful consideration, the hard power of the opponent is not as good as that of professional players. He handles some details very poorly and probably hasn't undergone long-term training, but his gaming awareness is a bit too good. As an ancient god, Uzi has a very accurate evaluation of player skills. In terms of details, Uzi is definitely not outstanding in terms of the positioning and reinforcements of this female gun, and its basic skills are not very outstanding. It can only be said that it is more powerful than ordinary players, but not on par with professional players. It is impossible to become a professional AD without undergoing tedious reinforcement training. There's a ghost, brothers, Doinb said helplessly. There's no way. Both of them feel that they must win this wave of rhythm. However, both of them made a great mistake in determining the position of the female gun, which directly led to the harvest of this wave of female guns. The female gun on the opposite side is too abnormal. It looks like a cheat from ancient times. Full picture cheat. But it doesn't exist now. It can only be said that the brain circuit of this female gun is different from that of ordinary AD. Every wave of team battle can play a crucial role. And the audience in the 2-person live broadcast room had already made some guesses. This female gun has a problem. The first wave can be said to be his quick reaction, but this time there's a ghost. Someone's cheating. I won't say who it is. I think the biggest possibility is that there are actors on Doinb's end who are communicating with the other side. What the upstairs brothers said is correct. I think there are actors, but there must be someone on Coin Brothers' end who is spreading the word. This is the only reasonable explanation. The frog of scheming keeps touching your belly. The female gun is a boss. It's hard to believe that this female gun has no ghosts. His position in this wave is too unreasonable. How could a normal player be here? It must have hired actors. I suggest contacting the official for a thorough investigation. Come on, I think it's just Monkey Taikai, blindly following Jill's command, and even casually setting up his own wind wall. The audience has their own opinions on this wave. But no matter how we discuss it, we cannot change this fact. Although Yong'an was forcefully killed in this wave, Jiang Zhou's teammates took off, not only protecting their second tower, but also pushing back and taking a wave of resources, and their equipment improved. The key is that Doinb's Aso is also dumbfounded. This wave touched an assist. And what he's wearing is an output suit, which is very fragile. It's like a big move from a female gun to wash his face, and Aso's life has to be explained. Jiang Zhou has a huge advantage here. My teammates also saw the dawn of victory. 15 minutes have passed. But no one said surrender again. Even the wild boar girl became excited. Pig sister. Female gun, from now on you will be my big brother. Today you won against Doinb and Uzi, I can brag for a lifetime. Yong'an. Hurry up, I want to kill Jean Gugu alone. Dashu. I knew AD was not an ordinary person. From the beginning, I knew that if you dared to flash and kill Uzi, you were still the first one. Awesome. Next, I will follow you to death. If the other side wants to kill you, they must first kill me. Brother, are you the nickname of that profession? Ah Shui. Is it still Brother Xiang? Jiang Zhou. The nature of the game changes at this moment. My teammates have developed a desire for victory. In the first 15 minutes, I couldn't even think about a combination that could win Doinb plus UZI. But now, they suddenly realized that their team also has thighs. If you can win this game, you will have a QR code engraved on your tombstone in the future. When future generations scan it, it will be the video of today's game. Jiang Zhou didn't expect his big move to make his teammates feel like they were getting beaten up, and everyone started to be proactive, highlighting the weakness and fear of the hard. But this is also a good thing. Sunny also became excited and asked, Jiang Zhou, how will we fight next? Jiang Zhou subconsciously said, it depends on what the other side says. Sunny didn't understand, thinking that Jiang Zhou meant to observe the changes and then think about what actions to take on the opposite side. What a tough opponent, I won't move. You're amazing, exclaimed Sunny. The coach once said that relying on the situation to counter is a high-end operational tactic. Brother, did you secretly become the champion behind my back? But it seems like you slept earlier and woke up later than me, Jiang Zhou. What are you thinking, chubby little guy? What I mean is just waiting for the other person to say something. Of course, Jiang Zhou cannot speak directly. Hee. But now why is there a hint of longing in my eyes when I look at myself on a sunny day? He certainly didn't know that this game was already planned to lose on sunny days. The performance of Jiang Zhou's female gun is too impressive. Even when working with the first team's AD, there is no such feeling. This AD is so elusive, it's too scary, not to mention Jiang Zhou's sense of the situation on the field. Sunny even thinks that if LDL could let Jiang Zhou play in such a state last year, he wouldn't be unable to make it to the playoffs. Can you not worship Jiang Zhou on a sunny day? In the game. After gaining an advantage, Jiang Zhou began to press forward in the middle. And now Jiang Zhou is in the position of the big brother in the game, advancing in the middle, and the four little brothers are watching the game nearby. There is really no way across from him. Even the stone man cannot withstand 3 guns in front of Jiang Zhou. In 22 minutes, the female gun is already a 3-piece set. The advantage is significant, pushing directly below the opposite highland. Even Jiang Zhou was a bit spirited and wanted to forcefully suppress the high ground. But Yuzi's words calmed him down. Uzi. The female gun on the opposite side is not good at positioning. Our chances are still very high. As long as we wait for him, we can win. Let's wait for Stone Man and Panson to join us. I can be sure that he is not a professional AD. If it is impossible for him to position like this, then we can win. Jiang Zhou's heart tightened. The sound reminded him. Although I may seem so powerful, I still rely on myself to hear the voice from the other side, but in terms of details, I still cannot compare to professional athletes, and there is still a possibility of overturning. To become a top AD player, one must always pay attention to their positioning and not be easily overtaken by the opponent. Thank you, Uzi. Jiang Zhou silently pulled the female gun back. Uzi was also stunned when he saw this scene. The female gun who had previously been positioned to give her a chance suddenly became obscene behind her teammate. He's a bit confused, this female gun is... how to describe it? Very strange. Yes, it's very strange. It seems like there is some kind of schizophrenia, with a strong sense of consciousness and attention to detail. Walking can be erratic and cautious, but to be honest, he can't understand. Doinb still said happily, Baron, I have a solution. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Playing the female gun into an assassin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Playing the female gun into an assassin. The current situation of the game is that for Doinb, Uzi is not very capable of winning. The damage of the female gun on the opposite side is already supermodel. Yasuo also has a wind wall to block it. Without that wind wall, they may not be able to stand for even a second in team battles. At 24 minutes into the game, Pansen and Nyoto encountered each other in the wilderness and were melted in less than 5 seconds. This game has gone far. The audience in the live broadcast room are all watching jokes. It's amazing. The world champion won the singles and the world's number 1 AD was treated like a drone to fight. It's too tragic. Even if you win the championship, there is still a gap. I originally wanted to watch the two of them win continuously, but now it seems they can't even dominate the top of the canyon. I can only say that the other side is not weak either. Just like everyone else, that female gunman really has a unique skill, maybe not a female gunman's unique skill player. Doinb, please have a word and give me a command. Jean Gugu is not dumbfounded now, no wonder FPX's record is so impressive. He can't even beat the diamond at the top of the canyon anymore, and he still hopes to win the championship in LPL. FPX is destroyed, that JZZ. You're going to ruin Huaxia Esports. The puppy collapsed, crying. In this live broadcast, there were quite a few happy people who sat back and forgot, constantly making cross-talk. And Doinb also knew that it was necessary to have a rhythm now. He said, there is no command on the other side. If we don't control the dragon at this time, it will give us a chance. Let's go to the card position and squat a wave first. As long as those waves are there, we will have a chance to turn the tables. If it weren't for Doinb being the commander of LPL. In such a disadvantaged situation, one still knows how to make a comeback. Forcing the dragon. This is a tactic commonly used by the team. However, generally speaking, it often appears on the dominant side, forcing the other party to come and confront it. But this is the rank bureau, and there is no one to command Jiang Zhou's side. I never expected this and gave Doinb and his team the opportunity to occupy favorable terrain first. They have Stone Man and Pansen Bullhead. As long as they occupy a good position, even if they have a disadvantage, they still have a chance to fight. Because Doinb believes in his own wind wall. Pressing the wind wall in one's hand is equivalent to a woman's gun not being big. A female gun without Ahahaha poses little threat. Of course, even if the opposing team insists on pushing the line, they can still play dragon. With VN in place, their dragon playing speed is still very fast. Not losing both vertically and horizontally. An excellent team commander always manages to find opportunities. Uzi nodded, feeling that this was a good solution, and it was clear that the other party had not yet realized it. After the retreat of the military line, Doinb's ASO beacon signal slowly moved towards the upper half of the field, with only the Stoneman collecting the line on the lower route, but he had a teleportation and could come to the front at any time. Doinb and Uzi couldn't have imagined that their conversation had already been listened to by Jiang Zhou without a word. Jiang Zhou said, the other side is forcing the dragon. Sunny day. In his view, the other side had just disappeared and he had no idea where he had gone. How could Jiang Zhou determine that the other side was forcing the dragon? But since Jiang Zhou said so, he began to mark the position of the dragon. Jiang Zhou calmly pondered on the way to break the situation. The opponent was in a good position and was an experienced Doinb. This guy had been targeting his big move, so now he absolutely cannot follow the opponent's ideas. Either they will be squatted down, or they will suppress their space. There are so many grasses in the river, as long as the stones reach me, I will definitely not live for a second. Once one dies, a 0/4/2 grace cannot sustain the scene, and the blind monk on a sunny day no longer has an advantage. It will be a big comeback on the other side. Jiang Zhou calmly said, after I go around, you take someone to observe the situation. My pig sister is still here, so it's absolutely impossible to fight to the end from the beginning. And the other person mainly wants to squat on themselves, which will give them enough time to walk around. He went to the wilderness and returned to the city after confirming that he had no vision of himself. Then, he hurried on to the road. As long as the blind monk and the pig girl are on the front, they will never think that the woman behind them is their own female gun. On a sunny day, there are question marks all over my head. Ha! Are you going to go around AD? In the past, it was absolutely impossible for this to happen to Jiang Zhou. The risk was too high. As long as the other side discovered Jiang Zhou's position, their battlefield would be divided, and Jiang Zhou's female gun would definitely be killed first. And this decision is too different from the previous Jiang Zhou. Jiang Zhou nodded and said, "Who said AD can't go back? I'm still a bit worried on a sunny day, after all, the female gun is not on the order. If the female gun falls, basically this round will be gone. If I say that, the risk is too high." Jiang Zhou said, "Brother Chang once said, the stronger the wind and waves, the more expensive the fish. Sunny Meng, which strong brother?" Jiang Zhou thought for a moment and realized that the TV drama had not been released yet. "No one, just listen to me. I'm not good at playing in front, I can only sneak attack. Sunny days can only be recognized." His blind monk could only do his best to attract the attention of the opposite person from the front. The rest can only be seen from Jiang Zhou. Facing De Long, Jiang Zhou's teammates on this side are a bit anxious. In the domestic esports circle, which team lacks blood in the wild? Having an advantage in one's own family and being stolen by someone would be a great shame. The kind of 88-year-old lying in a hospital bed and thinking about slapping oneself hard. So Piggy was the first one to go. As soon as Sister Pig passed by, Yong'en, Theshy, and even the blind monk on a sunny day had to keep up. At this moment, after Jiang Zhou's female gun returned to the city, she quickly arrived at her own wilderness and crouched down, waiting for both sides to fight, exposing the position of the stone man. Sure enough, as soon as both sides met, the stone man was teleported. The key was that this position was actually the fake eye of the grass on the left side of the wild area exit on the Jiang Zhou side. Jiang Zhou hid in the grass and watched the stone man come down. The location of this teleportation is too treacherous. If it weren't for Jiang Zhou hiding in the grass, he would have really lost the position of the stone man. Needless to say, this position was inserted by Doinb's eye, he really knows how to wrap around it. And the stone man did not go down the river, but came towards the Jiang Zhou buff, hoping to flash through the wall and form a group. Jiang Zhou. Two people are separated by a blade of grass. Teammate. They have some doubts about whether this female gun used to play as an assassin, her heart is big. As long as the stone man discovers the female gun, she will never leave. But the stone man refused to go in and take a look, even at a glance. The front has already started fighting. Pig girl wants to flash open VN. And Doinb originally wanted a wind wall to block the pig girl, but after thinking about it, he chose to believe in Yuzi's ability. It would be better to leave his wind wall for the female gun. Sure enough, Yuzi dodged the big move and pulled back. This top-notch pulling ability makes even Jiang Zhou envious. If you want to have such an operation yourself, you still need to practice hard. As the team battle began, the scene instantly became chaotic, and the stone man flashed across the wall under Jiang Zhou's eyelids to fight the team. Jiang Zhou's dominant female gun was not there, and she immediately suppressed Jiang Zhou's teammates on the opposite side. At this moment, the big tree on this side of the river boat made a great move and perfectly sealed the river channel. Vien, Pansen, Yasuo are all trapped. Jiang Zhou's eyes lit up, and the opportunity came. Flash past. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Rebirth, First Victory. Take it down. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 9 Rebirth, First Victory. Take it down. Doinb intentionally guarded against female guns. The wind wall stayed until the end. He has been observing the situation and has not put in any key skills. A team battle, seemingly extremely chaotic, but the winner lies with the female gunman, who is waiting. But seeing Big Tree's beautiful backhand move, he knew he had to take action. The Big Tree and Big Trick cover the river too much. You have to say, Doinb's mind is still clear at critical moments. Knowing that the female gun was not there, he was definitely waiting for his assistants to take action. Behind the Big Tree's big move, there must be the female gun's big move. In the moment he was trapped, he finally released his own wind wall. Doinb was very satisfied with this wind wall. He predicted that the female gun would be behind the Big Tree, which was a position where AD could protect himself and still shoot output. As long as the wind wall drags the output of the female gun, it is the moment for them to counterattack. The stone man still keeps the female gun, and this mixed score player knows who he wants to target. Everyone's attention is on the front battlefield. However, the location where the female gun appeared was beyond anyone's guess. Behind a few people. Like an assassin. This location UZI. Female gun, behind us. Doinb. Two capital letters are awkward. Doinb completely predicted the location of the female gun incorrectly. I thought she was in front of me, but to my surprise, the woman holding two guns twisted and walked calmly to the back. Bullet screen time. Ahahaha, Doinb's face has turned black, and tonight when he sleeps, he probably dreams like, hahaha. Brother, no, you're an AD. Why do you keep doing things that go around the back? Aren't you supposed to be in the front? Doinb issued a soul torture. But Jiang Zhou answered him with AQ skill. The scene became chaotic. But the female gun's ultimate move instantly caused tons of damage to Doinb and the four of them, even though their flashes and running after resuming activity were all residual blood. The stone man's ultimate move succeeded in flying the female spear, but Doinb's Aso was also swayed by an extremely beautiful divine dragon by the blind monk on a sunny day, winning 3 kills in a series of 2. Sunny. I'm sorry, I took your 3 kills. Jiang Zhou doesn't care. The battlefield was quickly cleaned up. They exchanged 0 for 5 on their end. But he didn't take the dragon at all, he pushed it directly. There are female guns, Yong'en, and their push tower is still very fast. I didn't give the other person a chance at all. My teammates are very excited. Who is across from here? Yuzi, Doinb. A world-class player has been defeated by them, it can boast for a lifetime. That's it. Yong'en. Female gun, you are my own brother. Can you add me as a friend after finishing the game? Theshy. Big brother, take me with you. I can assist you with anything, and I can even give you women's clothing. Jiang Zhou. Sunny day. In a joyful and peaceful atmosphere, Jiang Zhou won the first game after his rebirth. Took the double-row combination of Doinb and UZI. In the live broadcast room of Doinb and UZI, the audience is still discussing the previous group. Top of the line. I just want to say that this is the understanding of a top-tier female gun, not hitting the front. It's amazing, this female gun really has a ghost, it's not a cheat, I find it difficult to explain. Perhaps it's not a cheat, it's a peep screen or there must be actors involved. There are bad guys among the teammates. There's an AD in this position, can you believe it? Obviously, the audience felt that the position of the female gun was too unreasonable. Doinb thought for a moment and downloaded the game video to start reviewing, while UZI was also doing these things at the same time. However, the more they looked at it, the more strange it became for the two of them. In terms of some details of the female gun, it was only at the level of LDL, but their understanding of the game situation was too invincible. Moreover, it doesn't seem like they have an insider cooperating with them. Because decisions about female guns seem to be made on a whim. For example, in the final group battle, the female gun suddenly turned back to the city while walking, and they were already on the way to Dalongkang. If there were any ghosts on their side, the female gun should have returned to the city at the same time. Yuzi commented, "This female gun is a bit interesting, but her basic skills are a bit lacking. If she is willing to train hard, she may have a chance to appear on LPL." Doinb also admitted at this point, "It's the first time in my years at LPL that I've seen an AD player with such an unpredictable style. The game awareness is too strong, and every team battle's position and decision-making are invincible. I'll add him and see what his situation is. Would you like to come for a trial? I can find a team for him." Doinb's emotional intelligence is definitely very high. Even if you lose, you don't want to throw the blame. Instead, you want to generously invite the other party over. Of course, he also feels that it would be good to be a teammate with such an AD player. He likes to play with conscious AD. If you operate it, you can gradually practice it, and the reaction is innate. Only the consciousness in the game is the most mysterious thing, which cannot be touched or practiced. Yuzi didn't say anything either. After the two of them reviewed, they continued with the double row. This time, the two of them did not encounter Jiang Zhou's sunny weather, so they won continuously without any suspense. However, this matter has been remembered by the esports community. Jiang Zhou is on the sunny side. After playing this game, Sunny was completely convinced of Jiang Zhou. From a Sunny perspective, Jiang Zhou was able to infer where the opponent was from through some clues on the other side, and he could also find the perfect output position in every team battle. Having such an AD is so comfortable for a single player. You can bravely die. "Jiang Zhou, would you like to tell the coach to be a substitute for the first team?" asked Sunny. Jiang Zhou, however, remained calm. He also heard the last conversation between Yuzi and Doinb and understood his shortcomings. Therefore, he is not panicking now, mainly focusing on strengthening his basic skills. He said, "Let's see, I still need to train hard now." Not on a sunny day, Jiang Zhou's strength is good. In the esports industry, one needs to have the drive to work hard like this. Perhaps one day, I can step onto the LPL stage with Jiang Zhou. But what he didn't expect was that Jiang Zhou appeared on the LPL stage even earlier than him. This is the sequel. Finally, both of them spent the night charging at the top of the canyon. After Jiang Zhou found the use of his golden finger, the correct decisions made in each game became more and more accurate, and appearing in team battles became increasingly deadly. There are not many high-ranking individuals in a single row. As long as there is a team chat and communication between the two rows, they can ensure that they know the movements of the opposite side. After defeating Doinb and Yuzi, Sunny felt that it was nothing more than that and regained confidence in operation. There was a sunny day ahead, and Jiang Zhou's AD was behind to provide support for the team battle. In one night, the two of them rushed up to the master. The winning rate is as high as 90%. It's simply unreasonable. The only reason for losing is because the opponent's strength is not weak, but there is not much communication, and more is tacit understanding, which leads to a slightly weak effect of Jiang Zhou's golden fingers. This further strengthens Jiang Zhou's determination to train hard, and even with the golden finger, he must work hard. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Major clubs come to buy people. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Major clubs come to buy people. YM has set stricter standards for team members this year compared to previous years. Either it's at the top 100 level of the Korean server. Either it is at the top 50 level of the canyon in China. Top 10 suburban areas. That's just having the qualification to try out youth training. Whether or not one can truly become a member of youth training requires more than a month of training. The coaching staff should carefully observe whether they are suitable for the profession, cooperate with teammates, and cultivate potential in various aspects. In summary, this year's YM team has reached its limit in exploiting the potential of its teammates under the pressure of PDD. Oath to unleash the potential of all team members. Because there has always been a regret in the heart of the prostitute teacher, which is LPL. Now he can't get tickets to LPL anymore, and Capital has firmly grasped that it won't be easy to buy and sell, so he can only frantically tinker with LDL. Even if he hasn't entered the summer playoffs, can he not be angry? The boss is angry, and the coaching staff and team leader below can only put pressure on their teammates, requiring them to rank for no less than 12 hours every day. All team members start high-intensity ranking almost every day when they open their eyes. Under such heavy pressure, within half a month, Jiang Zhou also witnessed with his own eyes some self-proclaimed genius youths being gradually persuaded to retreat. Like in his previous life, he also left YM at this time. I am already a bit self-destructive, and under such high-intensity training, my mentality is also very easy to collapse. Once my mentality collapses, I become useless. It is not an exaggeration to say that a person's success in the esports industry will lead to countless deaths. To advance to the LPL, there must be dozens of genius youths buried behind their backs. But even so, there are still people who follow suit one after another. There is never a shortage of young people with esports dreams in this world. After being reborn, Jiang Zhou's own life also changed. I successfully climbed to the top 10 of the canyon in a row with Sunny Sky. Among them, Jiang Zhou ranks 8th and Sunny Days rank 10th. Originally, the scores of the two were almost the same, but Jiang Zhou secretly rolled up for a few days on the back of the Sunny Day. If it had been in the past, Sunny Days would never have imagined that Jiang Zhou would secretly roll up with his back. This AD is really amazing. This day. On the day of YM's formal assessment. Base lobby. The boss's PDD has reappeared here. He came today not only for the team assessment day, but also to welcome some guests. Some LPL team coaches, managers, and so on. At this point, not only is LDL's spring race about to start, but more importantly, LPL's spring race is about to begin. Last year, S10 lost to DWG at their doorstep, which can be said to have made LPL very uncomfortable, but it has to be admitted that LCK does have the strength to stage the return of the king. The LPL team itself also has various problems. So before the start of the S11 spring tournament, everyone was looking for new players to integrate into their team. The transfer period is very important for both the LDL team, LPL, and professional players. Cultivating so many team members on a regular basis is just a day waiting for trading to turn into cash. I usually strive to perform well in the league, but I am just waiting to join the first team of LPL. After successfully persuading two inexperienced youth trainees who only treated YM as an internet cafe member, there were only 9 members left in the YM team. There are only 3 AD positions. Seeing this situation, Jiang Zhou's face turned black. He thought he could beat the other AD players, but he didn't expect to have 2 more, one of whom was still the first team's AD. Xing. Although he worked hard enough during the off-season, he was already mediocre and it was impossible to shake Xing's position. This makes Jiang Zhou feel a bit desperate, allowing you to chop vegetables and fruits in rank, but as long as you are not on the official track, you will always be just a powerful passerby player. However, passersby players and professional players are completely 2 different creatures. Do I have to stay for another year? Can I try other clubs myself? At the beginning of my own collapse, I can only try to find my own way out. But after thinking about his current situation, Jiang Zhou felt that it was even more difficult to enter other clubs. You don't have an advantage in your age, and you are still a member of the YM team who can't survive. Such a person won't be needed no matter where you go. Jiang Zhou immediately gave up the idea of finding his own team. But I don't know when to stay at YM. At this moment, PDD spoke up, what we have left behind are all the elites among the elites, and PDD won't say anything extra. As long as you play well, PDD can definitely let you enter the LPL and enjoy the treatment of top professional players. You are all talented and hardworking people, but I tell you, staying here is just the beginning. If this is your esports dream, then YM doesn't need such people. I only keep the team members who want to become world champions. If you are not, please leave voluntarily. The establishment of YM was originally aimed at cultivating world champions. And what YM is doing now has always been the same. These are all things that everyone can see. Jiang Zhou nodded silently, wanting to say what it means to never forget the original intention in the esports circle. The factory director is one, and teacher Theshy is one. The same goes for PDD, but the route chosen by PDD is different from the first two. But in terms of influence in the esports industry, PDD is not inferior. PDD continued, today there will be people from the LPL club coming to talk to us about the contract. You need to be prepared, and whether you can enter the LPL depends on today. After today, you will have to wait for the transfer period after the spring game. Spring, aged 18 or 19, is the most precious. Take control of it yourself, and of course, I will do my best to help you. Alright, let's go. PDD is rare to have a literary and artistic experience, but there is no complete literary and artistic experience, so it just ends. Everyone's heart is very excited. Especially the 5 members of the first team. They are considered by the entire base to have a great chance of entering LPL. PDD also has high hopes for these 5 individuals. After all, in PDD's view, each of these 5 individuals is worth millions of dollars, which is the best time to invest in the club and monetize. It may sound realistic, but if the club doesn't make money, YM cannot continue to inject fresh blood into LPL. Make money, don't mix it with cold. Starting from today's morning meeting, the atmosphere inside the base has changed. Every young person's face was filled with excitement. It's like waiting for the lottery to draw. At this time, coaches and managers from other clubs came to visit one after another, and PDD probably arranged for these people to be on the same day, so that they could also bid on site. To make money, don't be cold. Jiang Zhou already knew an EDG player named Abu, and even when he came over, he didn't know which player he was interested in. On a sunny day, he said to the inside door, "Look, that's the manager of TS, that's SN, I'm going. RNG and EDG are all here. They also want to buy players. Are they short of people?" The sunny day is very exciting. Jiang Zhou is very calm. Because he knows that this opportunity may not be his turn. Thank you for your recommended tickets. End of this chapter.